Today we are doing, starting Unit 4, 4.1 is combining like terms. This is stuff we're even doing in Algebra 1. Ooh. Right, Emily? Combining like terms? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is a couple definitions. What is a like term? A like terms are terms, they have the same variable, and that variable needs to be raised to the same exponent. Alright? So, a like term to, let's say I give you the term 3x squared. Is 5x squared a like term? Yes, it is, because they both have x squareds to them. Okay, what about 2x? Is that a like term?
Yes.
No. It has the same variable, yes. But is that variable raised to the same power? No. So 2x is not a like term. What about 10y squared? Or is that a like term?
I think maybe not.
No. They are raised to the same exponent, but is it the same variable? No. So also not a like term. Okay, one thing we do have to recognize is that constants are like terms to each other. What is a constant? What is a variable means that it stays the same or that it changes? Variable. If something varies, it changes. Right? And doesn't that make sense? I can tell you that x equals 5. I can tell you that x equals 4. I can tell you x equals negative 100. I can change the value of x. If I have a number like 12, does that ever change?
No.
12 always stays the same, so we call 12 a constant. So constants are like terms. So 12 and 6, are those like terms? Yep. What about 24? What about negative 137? Yeah. It's still a constant. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Still a constant. So they're still like terms. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. We also need to know what a coefficient is. Now, you should have heard of this before, but a coefficient is the number that is being multiplied by the variable. So, if a variable is by itself, the coefficient is 1, and I call that an invisible 1. So, let's say I have, let me change colors here. Let's say I have negative 3y. What's the coefficient there? For negative 3y, what's the coefficient?
3.
Negative 3. What about z? What's the coefficient there? 1. We have an invisible 1 right there. Okay. So just write this expression out first. All we're doing here is labeling stuff. Okay, so let's say my expression is 7x plus 5 minus 3y plus 2x. Just some expression that I made up. Okay, what's the constant in this expression? 5. The number that's just a number by itself. 5. Okay. The coefficients are the numbers that are being multiplied by the variables. So 7. This 3, is that a negative 3 or a positive 3? It's a negative 3. And 2. Those are all numbers that are being multiplied by the variables. What are the like terms here? We have a 7x and a 2x. So those are like terms. Okay, so let's do, when we combine like terms, the reason why we had to define coefficient is because when we combine like terms, The only thing that we do is we add or subtract the coefficients. So in this expression up here, 7x and 2x, what would those combine to be? 7x plus 2x. I add those coefficients and I get 9x. Okay? Okay, so last thing we need to know is perimeter. Now you guys have been finding the perimeter since like what, second grade? The perimeter means what? The distance around the entire object. So what do we do to find the perimeter? We add up all of the sides together. Okay, make sure you write that to remind yourself. Example 1.
Yes, exactly.
3x plus 4x. Okay, these are like terms because we have x and x. Both of them are just x by themselves. So what I do is I add up the coefficients. So 3 plus 4 gives me 7x. So 3x plus 4x equals 7x.
That's it?
That's the answer. That's it. Nope. No joke. Yep. Try example 2 by yourselves. Alright guys, so 10y minus 3y, what did you all get? 7y. Very good. Any questions so far? This is the easiest stuff we've ever done? Okay, example 3. Negative 2a minus 2a. My signs are the same, so do I add or subtract? Add, and I keep the sign, so it's going to be negative 4a. Good job. Alright, 4m plus 8m minus 3m. Are all of these like terms? Yes. So when we're adding more than two things, we add which direction? Very good, left to right. So 4m plus 8m, what does that give me?
12m.
12m minus 3m. And 12m minus 3m? 9m. So make sure you show all the steps, please. Yes. Oh. So example 6 or 5. 6k minus 3h plus 5k plus h. Okay, so what I do in these types of problems, I identify my like terms and I underline them all differently, okay? So we have a 6k here, and I always just start from the left and work my way down the line. 6k, what like terms are in here that are like 6k? Good, and is it a positive 5k or a negative 5k? Very good, so we have a positive 5k, so I'm going to put just one underline under each one. Okay? Then I move on to the next one. I have a negative 3h, so I do a squiggle line. Which term is like negative 3h? H. Now this is an h by itself, so what is there that we can't see? 1. An invisible 1. Very good. And then we just combine those like terms. So we look at the ones that are underlined the same. 6k plus 5k, what does that give me? 11k. Negative 3h plus 1h, what does that give me? 4h. Negative 2h, so we write negative 2h. Now, I have 11k, negative 2h. Are those like terms? No. No, so am I done? Yes. So this is my answer. It is okay to leave your answer like this. You don't have to get a number for your answer. You don't have to get just one term for your answer. If this is as simple as we can get it, then we are done. Okay? That is a big thing that people have trouble with in algebra. They want to have just one term as their answer. It's okay to have two. Okay? Your instructions here are to simplify, so we just combine like terms as much as possible. Okay?
I'm guessing.
So let's try example 6. Okay, remember I underline mine. So I always start from the left and I just work my way down. So I have a 4S. Does 4S have any like terms here? Yes. 9S. Is it a positive or a negative? Negative 9S. Then we have a positive 7T. Does 7T have any like terms here? No? And then lastly, we have a positive 6. So I'm going to underline that one twice. Does positive 6 have any like terms? No. So let's combine like terms. 4S minus 9S. What does that give me? Negative 5S. Plus 7T. Anything to combine it with? No. So we just write plus 7T. And then plus 6. There's nothing to combine that with, so we just write it plus 6. Now, whenever we have an answer, and this would be our answer, whenever we have an answer that looks like this, we like to put our variables in alphabetical order. So S comes before T in the alphabet, so that's why we have it first, which means our constants are always last. So you guys know like how when we're multiplying things by variables, we always put the number first? Okay? This is another one of those things where we always put our variables in alphabetical order. Okay? So make sure that if you get something that has A, B, and C, that when you write your answer, you write the A's first, then the B's, then the C's. And constants always come last because there's no letters in them. Make sense? Okay, so that's just something we have to learn for our organization. Put all the variables in alphabetical order. Okay, last example, example 7. Find the perimeter. Okay, so if I am looking for the perimeter, what do I have to do? Add all the sides together. So we get perimeter equals, and I just start at the bottom and work my way around. So 3x plus 6y plus 3x plus 6y. Okay, so now I need to identify my like terms. I have a 3x, because I always start just at the beginning. And what terms are like 3x in here? 3x, right? Then we have a positive 6y, and what's the like term to positive 6y? Positive 6y. So we get perimeter equals, let's combine all of our like terms. 3x plus 3x, 6x. 6y plus 6y, plus 12y. Am I done?
Yes.
Yes. So I can put a box around my answer.
They can just chill there and be buddies.
Yep.
Chill there and be buddies.
And that's it for combining like terms.
Yeah.